the deepest, more ultimate thing to know, to seek. It's not like the whole worldly things, those things that doesn't really matter because the ultimate is above them, blah, blah, blah. You're just getting lost in that deception. And it's a super tricky one. That's why I'm doing this video on it. Mystical entertainment. Isn't that what we end up doing with spirituality? The normal entertainment isn't enough. It's not elaborated enough. And the human mind has this need for the transcendent, the deeper layers of reality. So it's very easy to get lost in that new kind of entertainment, in that world of seeking something ultimate. I'm not saying this is by all means and in all cases wrong, because the basic impulse has a truth in it. But I'm just talking about how it ends up being co-opted by the mind. Because it's so easy, I've seen that thing myself so much, to lose ourselves in those talks by monks, gurus, wise people, and all these kind of possible doctrines and theories. But this might be just a sophisticated distraction from true spirituality. Because see, true spirituality does not come from those sources. It doesn't come from the book. It doesn't come from the lecture that you listen to, from the guru that you listen to, all the magical and impressive words that he says to you, all these ideas that you muster up in your mind. Yeah, that can be literally entertaining, and you think you are getting somewhere. You really think that. You really think that you are getting closer to the truth, etc., etc. But it's just like how when you are in self-improvement and you look self-improvement videos and you have this idea that you are progressing, that you are learning. But at the end of the day, if you're really true with yourself, you will see that you are not learning shit at all. You are just entertaining yourself and believing that you are learning, believing that you are progressing. Sure, there is a usefulness in that, and there is some stuff that is useful to understand intellectually. But at the core of it, what the real spirituality entails is wisdom. And that knowing, that consciousness, can be given to you by someone else. Others can just point at it or try to make you see it in some way. Try to trigger something in you that makes that awareness conscious. But the source of the consciousness itself is in you, is you. So when you are conscious of an explanation, an intellectual explanation of an insight that someone else gives you, you are not really conscious of it. You think, yeah, I'm conscious of it, but you're just mentally understanding the concept, and you can get lost in this forever and ever and ever and ever. So, wisdom itself ultimately must come from you, from your life, from your seeing, not the one of someone else, not a borrowed seeing, not a second-hand seeing. So these are useful pointers, but if you get deluded into thinking that listening all the time to the pointers will get you there, you're just plain wrong. You're not getting there. Actually, you're going the other way. Because the entertainment itself is staying unconscious. Why are you entertaining yourself? Why do you entertain yourself at all? because there is a painful situation you want to avoid in your life, something that you want to distract yourself from. Like that's 99% of the cases. So this just seems a valid distraction. It's much more camouflage because it seems actually important, right? It's the deepest, more ultimate thing to know, to seek. It's not like the whole worldly things, those things that doesn't really matter because the ultimate is above them, blah, blah, blah. You're just getting lost in that deception. And it's a super tricky one. That's why I'm doing this video on it. So see, if you really want to go into true spirituality, it is about truth. It is about your life. You seeing and understanding things at the deepest level. Not thinking about them, intellectualizing about them, hearing people speak about them. It is how you are by yourself, what your nature is. See, you are distracting yourself because you want to avoid your nature. Because your nature entails how you are reacting to the world, to the situations. It determines how you relate to the world that you perceive. And so how you perceive it too. So see, real spirituality is about, from what I see, understanding this relationship more clearly, how it actually is working, how you are creating it, how you are creating part of yourself, and so the relationship with the world and with others, with things, events, how you relate in the reaction to those things. And by awareness of that, change happens. Not because you decide to change in a certain way, but because you start to be conscious to see the truth of the situation. And that by itself improves things usually. So a lot of this escaping can actually be spiritual bypassing, which is you have some real practical basic issues that you have to take care of in your life, but you are trying to bypass those issues by becoming enlightened or waking up or become more conscious. But you're actually disregarding something basic and fundamental as just another material goal, when actually that's what you have to take care of. You can't run before you can walk, or you just can put the cart before the horse. It's just not how it works. You can't go in the transcendent levels before having taken care of the most human basic ones. And that is something that I think is being used a lot to exploit people in the Eastern world, because they're in poverty, shitty situations, and they're given this, the material life is not important, just stay in the transcendent, transcend the whole thing, the whole basic human needs, just stay there in the self, stay there, and it's all you need, you don't need anything other at all. And there is some truth to that, sure, but there is also the truth of the human body, the biological machine that you have to take care of as a self. So this is something that has to be considered. You can just try to bypass all your problems with waking up. So real spirituality is actually how you are relating to yourself and to life, to reality. It is the real relationship you are having with reality, not the one you pretend to have, which the world is, it's what it is doing all the time. It's pretending to have a certain relationship with the world, pretending to have a certain relationship with themselves, with others, with life. So seeing how you are faking that relationship and starting to having a more authentic one is what true spirituality really is about. And that's why authenticity and integrity is so at the core of it. No internal conflict, because then you are seeing the real. you are seeing how you are relating to the real in a clear way, with insight. Because see, only then you are actually in the domain of reality, of what is. And you're really in the game. You're not in the whole illusionary thing of how it actually is, but you are in what is for real. And you're seeing your true relationship with it and how your nature changes that. You can't change something till you have seen it as it is. You can't play the delusionary game expecting it will change, because you are playing by the delusion rules. So this can happen only if you have a true thirst for the real. If you have a thirst for an authentic relationship with the reality. And a big part of us doesn't want that at all. It wants to delude itself. It wants to dream, to imagine that things are different. But they are how it imagines they are. But it can influence it in some ways which actually are not real at all when you see clearly. It is for you if you want to see truth for truth's sake, not for any other. Then once you see the truth as it is, how you relate to it is a whole different matter. But first you have to see the truth clearly, the reality clearly. If not, you'll just imagine that it is a certain way and you will relate with that imagination. And that imagination is not the truth. So you can see how it will play out. It can't end sweetly. So it comes down to that, man. Either you want the real and to improve your relationship with it, to grow in your relationship with it, to understand it as it is, or there is the dreaming, the delusionary point of view of relating with it, which is strictly and purely survival based and not factually, objectively, clearly, insightfully based. And I mean, I understand, and that's part of the reality of living as a human. There is this survival component. This is not easy. The truth can go against your survival in a lot of ways, but that's part of the deal. That's what real spirituality entails. So in the end, it's your choice how you want to go into this. If you want the real thing or the illusion. So hope you find the video useful, that you really notice that, and maybe if you're doing that in your life too and have been falling into that trap and maybe got out of it, share with us in the comment your experience with that. I would be curious to know. If you want to dig deeper into some gems that I discovered by my research in various topics of business, spirituality, and productivity, and ADHD management, manifestation, all kind of stuff. I have an holistic mind map that you can check out for free, download it for free by the link in the description, and yeah, sure you will find the usable stuff there. That said, as usually, stay strong.